Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about the 10 common causes of inflammation, okay? Number one, low cortisol. That would be adrenal fatigue. What is cortisol? It's a natural anti-inflammatory. It's the anti-inflammatory of the body. When you run out of it, like an adrenal burnout, you're going to need prednisone or cortisone cream, just like a lot of people take when they have chronic pain. So low cortisol, that comes from chronic, long-term, sustained stress. Low cortisol, you're going to have fibromyalgia and all sorts of inflammation. Okay, number two, old injuries. I've had a lot of old injuries. Old injuries create trauma and scar tissue. The scar tissue heals, well, the body heals with scar tissue, and the scar tissue does not have the amount of blood supply like a muscle. So you get this abnormal tissue that's not very... it's just like crabgrass in a garden that starts growing, and it restricts motion and creates stiffness. And it starts growing around nerve roots. Okay? Not to mention that area of the body starts to degenerate faster. So you get pinching on the nerve, you get stiffness and inflammation because it's not moving anymore. Okay, so that's old injuries. Sugar. Why? Because it increases insulin, and you start developing a condition called insulin resistance, which one characteristic of that is inflammation. Just by getting this out of the diet and fixing insulin resistance, you can drop inflammation way down. In fact, intermittent fasting is a great way to improve people with insulin resistance, specifically if they have a lot of inflammation. Okay, number four, grains, especially the gluten, that will create inflammation in the gut. But just grains in general tend to create inflammation more than a lot of things. But the big one is the gluten. If you actually are consuming gluten right now, which is the protein in grains, that could be the reason why you have inflammation. I mean, I've had taken people off just grains in general, and all of their arthritis completely clears up. Actually, I lied. There's actually 11 causes of inflammation. One is excessive alkalinity. If you're too alkaline, okay, what happens is you are very susceptible to getting allergies and inflammation. And even if you were to consume citrus, which, by the way, when you consume like orange or lemons or grapefruits, what happens in your body, that breaks down it turns into an acid, but then it turns into a very strong alkaline substance, which will then push you more into the alkalinity, and you'll find that you have more like stiffness or arthritis. So if you have that situation, then you know your body's too alkaline. All right, vegetable oils like corn oil and soy oil and safflower and sunflower oil, that is very, very high in omega-6. It's more inflammation. You need the omega-3 fatty acids, and that would be the cod liver oil, the fish oils. Okay. You can do also krill as well, or DHA. That's a type of omega-3 fatty acid. So vegetable oil is very, very, and like you'd probably get that in salad dressings or mayo, or even you would get it in like deep fried foods. They bread and they deep fry like in corn oil. You're going to get a lot of inflammation after you consume that. Alcohol, that's a given. That's going to destroy your liver, and that will create inflammation. Dairy, specifically grain-fed. Grass-fed dairy has a lot more omega-3. Grain-fed, which is commercial, gives you a lot more omega-6 fatty acids. So if you're doing a grass-fed dairy or animal product, chances are you're not going to have near the inflammation. And by the way, that triggered a memory. Grains. If you were to consume kamut, which is an ancient grain, you would not nearly have the amount of inflammation than you would do the commercial wheat they do now. So ancient grains significantly lower the inflammation response to grains, even gluten. Okay? There's people I even know who can consume the ancient grains and have no inflammation at all. MSG, monosodium glutamate, it's kind of a neurotoxin, but it enhances the flavor of food, and it definitely can create a lot of fluid buildup and inflammation. This is in a lot of the fast food places that you would go to. Okay, 9, excessive protein. If you're doing large amounts of protein that are going to be not digested, they're going to be a strain on the liver and the kidney, you're going to end up with a lot of uric acid, which turns into gout, which is a form of arthritis and inflammation. Okay, so too much protein can mess with your kidneys, and now you're going to have gout. Okay, number 10, cooked foods. Now, one meal of cooked foods is not going to do anything. I'm talking about years of only eating your food completely cooked or canned or pasteurized. Why is that? Because when you cook food, you destroy the enzymes. If you're not eating anything raw, like vegetables, for example, which I know a lot of people don't do that, you're going to wear out the liver. The liver has to then be depleted of its factors and also the pancreas, so you're going to start having a bad liver and you're going to get stiffness and arthritis just from that alone. So you want to start adding more raw vegetables to your diet. If you go to some like Indian restaurants, the vegetables are so cooked, I mean, it's like completely dead. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, in summary, we need to correct this. We talked about the 11 causes of inflammation. Thank you so much for watching. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Please click the subscribe button and I will see you in the next video.